If you feel like you're stuck on some sort of treadmill and you can't get things around you to change, or things aren't changing the way you want them to, then keep watching this video. You've probably heard the old saying that expecting a different result even though you're doing the same thing is the definition of insanity, and I can't agree with it more. If you're doing the same thing day in, day out and not getting the result that you're after, or not getting a different result, then there's no surprise. That's what you should expect. So I want to just give you sort of an idea. I'm going to share a little story with you. That's probably the best way. Get you thinking about why it is that you need to change, why it is that you need to think differently to what you're thinking now if you're going to expect the world around you to change. Imagine for a moment that you've got a child. I don't know how many of you have got children. Some do, some don't. If you don't have any children, just imagine you do. And imagine your child's going to year 4 in primary school. And they get to the end of their first year of year 4 and they come home and they go, "Mum, Dad, got some bad news, I've got to repeat." Now you'd be disappointed, right? And most people would, most parents would be a little bit disappointed. In school, if you don't get to graduate from year 4 to year 5, then there must be something wrong with you. But you know what? You're a good parent, you're going to be supportive, and you say to your child, you say, "You know what, just give it a good red hot go this year and see how you go." So they get to the end of their second year in year 4, come home, same thing happens. "Mum, Dad, got some bad news, I need to repeat year 4. I mean, now it's at this point you're probably getting some DNA testing or something done. You're probably convinced this kid is not yours, but anyway, you're going to support them and off you send them again off to school for their third year of year 4, and you're hoping that they'll do better. But they get to the end of this third year of year 4 and same thing happens. They come home, "Mum, Dad, got some bad news, I have to repeat again." In fact, they do this so many years running that they're driving themselves to school. Now, you may be laughing at that scenario, but let me ask you this. Have you repeated the last year over and over and over again? See, it's frightening how many people I meet that once they're in their own business or adults, that just repeat the same year after year after year. In fact, I could photocopy this year and spread it out in front of you for the next 10 years, and that may be your life. Now, the good thing about school gives us this accountability to graduate, and if we don't graduate, there's something wrong. Okay, and they have this, that's why they number each year. So, if you're in year 8, the next logical thing is to graduate to year 9. And how do you graduate? Well, you graduate by learning a whole bunch of stuff. So it's this knowledge building process that goes all the way through until the end of your schooling. And what happens, unfortunately, is when we leave school, there's no accountability for that anymore. As an adult, there's no accountability for you to graduate each year. Sure, prices keep going up and fuel gets more expensive, cars and houses, and that sort of means you're going to have to graduate at some level. But what about your knowledge? Who's holding you accountable to growing your knowledge each year? Well, the reality is you have to do it. And if you've made it okay not to graduate, then you need to take ownership for that. You need to make the decision that now is the time to start investing in yourself. And one of my favourite all-time entrepreneurs and speakers was a fellow called Jim Rohn, and he says, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." And I really believe that that's what this is all about, is how do you make sure that you graduate each year? What courses are you going to? What books are you reading? What people are you mingling with? Do you have a business coach or a mentor working with you to transfer some of their knowledge to you to make you better at what you do? If you're not graduating, then all the people around you that are going to win the race. And if you're making it okay to stay the same every year, well, don't expect a change. It's your own, you're creating your own situation and you're getting everything that you deserve and decided to have. If you're not deciding to change, then nothing around you is going to change. It is that simple. So don't be the 4th grader that repeats that year for many, many years running. Be the one that graduates and graduates faster than everybody else, and you'll start to see some success.